adventurers! How are you today? The Midnight Balloon and the Hidden Star Garden. Once upon a time, in the cozy town of Maple Hollow, there lived a curious girl named Juniper. She had a big imagination, the brightest smile, and a small collection of adventure books stacked high beside her bed. But deep inside, she wished that one day she would have her own adventure, something so big and wonderful that she could write a book about it herself every night before sleep. Juniper would read stories about secret gardens, magical creatures, and hidden worlds waiting to be discovered. One evening, as the moon rose over the treetops, Juniper noticed something strange outside her window. A glowing silver balloon was drifting down from the sky, its strings sparkling like a trail of tiny stars. Juniper rubbed her eyes, thinking she must be dreaming. But the balloon was still there, hovering just above her garden. Her heart fluttered. She peeled it open and read the neat handwriting inside carefully. She opened her window and reached out. As soon as her fingers touched the string, the balloon bobbed gently, as if it had been waiting for her all along. Attached to the end of the string was a small envelope sealed with a golden star. A soft breeze brushed her cheeks, and in the blink of an eye, the balloon lifted her into the night sky. Juniper blinked as she realized she was no longer in the sky at all. Instead, she hovered above a hidden valley she had never seen on any map, a place filled with soft golden light. She looked around, wide-eyed. The wind was cool and sweet, carrying the smell of jasmine and something else, something she couldn't quite name, but felt like magic. Trees taller than any she'd ever seen stretched their branches to the sky, their blossoms twinkling like lanterns. Juniper, tonight the midnight balloon will take you where dreams begin. Hold tight, and don't look back. Trust your heart. A narrow stone bridge crossed a river of silver mist, and beyond it stood an enormous gate carved with constellations she didn't recognize. Without a moment's hesitation, Juniper climbed onto the windowsill, holding the balloon tight in her hand. Up, up, up she soared past the rooftops, past the tall pine trees, and past the sleepy clouds drifting across the moon. Far below, Maple Hollow grew smaller and smaller, until it looked like a tiny patchwork quilt stitched together from gardens, chimneys, and glowing windows, and a brass key on a chain around its neck. After what felt like hours of floating, the balloon slowed its climb. My name is Bramble, and I am the keeper of the gate. The balloon lowered her gently to the ground, and Juniper's boots touched the grass, which felt like the softest velvet. All around her were flowers that shimmered in the darkness, petals that glowed like moonlight, leaves dusted with silver dew. Juniper took a careful step forward and gasped. Nestled in the heart of the valley was a secret garden, a garden filled with stars. If you plant it in your world, the magic of this place will grow wherever you are. But first, you must prove yourself worthy. Just as she was wondering what to do next, a small voice spoke behind her, and forgotten dreams come to rest, waiting to be found again. But not everyone can see it. Only those whose hearts are brave and curious. Hello, Juniper. A soft wind stirred her hair as she stepped into the darkness beyond. Strange creatures watched her from the shadows, rabbits with wings, golden-eyed owls, and tiny deer whose antlers glowed with starfire. She turned around and nearly stumbled back in surprise. A fox stood there, no taller than her waist, wearing a tiny blue vest. You can talk? Juniper stammered. She began to feel that this place was not just a garden, but a part of herself she had never known. At its roots rested a tiny seed glowing like a captured star. The fox dipped its head politely. Of course, all creatures in the Hidden Star Garden have voices, and joy so bright it made her eyes sting with tears. Juniper swallowed, her heart thumping with excitement. What is this place? Bramble's eyes glowed gently. This is the garden where lost wishes. Juniper felt a thrill in her chest. I'm supposed to find something here, aren't I? The fox nodded. There is a seed hidden in the garden. The last star seed. Now you return home and carry this light with you. Plant it wherever you feel the world needs more wonder. He gestured to the carved gate. Beyond these doors lies the path of wonder. Only those with true courage can walk it. When you're ready, the path will open again. Juniper took a deep breath. I'm ready. Bramble turned the brass key in the lock, and the gate swung open with a low musical creak. As the balloon rose, she waved to Bramble and the shining garden below. The wind carried her gently back across the dark sky, over the quiet rooftops of Maple Hollow, and finally through her own bedroom window. The path wound through silver groves and meadows full of glittering blossoms. At every turn, the path tested her courage, a bridge of glass she had to cross without looking down, a maze of mirrors that reflected her greatest fears, and a silent grove where she had to listen with her heart to find the way forward. Outside, dawn was just beginning to color the sky. Hours passed. Or maybe days' time felt different here, but Juniper never turned back. With every step, her heart grew steadier, her mind clearer, and no matter what happened, she would always be brave enough to find the hidden paths. Finally, she reached a clearing where a single tree stood, its trunk silver as moonlight. Juniper knelt and picked it up. The moment her fingers closed around it, a warm light poured through her, filling her with hope. She turned to find Bramble waiting behind her. "You did it," he said simply. "You have found the last star seed." Juniper held it close. "What happens now?" The fox smiled. She looked around the garden one last time, knowing she would never forget the creatures and the paths she had walked. "Will I ever come back?" she asked softly. Bramble's eyes glimmered. "Perhaps. All journeys begin and end in the heart." He lifted his paw, and in an instant, the silver balloon appeared, drifting down beside her. Juniper climbed into the basket, holding the star seed tight. Up and up she drifted until the hidden star garden was just a memory of silver and gold. The balloon vanished as her feet touched the floor. Juniper looked down at her hand. The seed still glowed softly, warm as a promise. She slipped it into her pocket and pulled her blanket around her shoulders. Juniper knew that everything had changed. The world was bigger, brighter, and more full of magic than she'd ever imagined. Thank you for listening, little adventurers. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell so you can join us on the next magical adventure. Sweet dreams!